ECB already concerned about what to do with the business this afternoon. We will have a major currency fluctuation. Something that people perhaps aren't aware of is the importance of the euro in West Africa. The CFA, which is a euro-linked currency, is the nominal legal tender for 300 or 400 million people in West Africa. So a change in the position of euro immediately changes the entire West Africa's purchasing power, which will have significant impacts on commodity flows and trade in and out of the area.
I can't remember what number we're up to in terms of hits. It was a COVID pandemic, it was some domestic political situations, it was a war in Ukraine. I mean, what are we up to in terms of multiple hits to some of these countries that have had to weather knock after knock in terms of food prices, higher costs across the board? So how does this sit in the context of a steady stream of bad news for some of these countries?
Well, the interesting thing about West Africa is that it's learned to become resilient. It's been facing issues for multiple years, but as time has been passing, there has been improvements to the area, and things have been going in a good direction. I'd say the recent problem for shipping was the Houthi attacks in the Suez Canal. That was an inflationary issue as well. Now we have the trade wars, but the area is resilient. People will find ways to trade around it, and it will actually push people to trading more in the global south rather than relying on traditional North American or European trade flows. People will look to Southeast Asia, people will look to India, and I think they'll be better off to do so.
Adrian, I did a little bit of work on West Africa years ago, and what is an amazingly resource-rich area, whether it be on the soft side, whether it be on the harder commodity side as well. Unbelievably resource-rich, but the relationship with the West hasn't always worked as well. The West has wanted the basic raw material, but hasn't allowed them to add value at source as well. Is the relationship going to be? Is that problem going to actually add to the appetite for West Africa and other areas to actually deal more with China, deal more with the richer Asian names, rather than just turning to the West as it has done historically?
I think the legacy issue with the West is rather aesthetic. On the ground, actual business leaders and politicians are pragmatic. People in West Africa are happy to deal with the West and are willing to deal with the West. There are actually benefits to dealing with the West. There are higher standards in labour regulations.
Well, there haven't always been, Adrian, and you and I know this from the oil industry as well.
That's true. But in the modern era, things have been improving.
Right.
So people in West Africa are happy to deal with Europeans in the same way that they're happy to deal with the Chinese. You know, what's unique about the place is that discrimination to foreign capital is actually quite low. So people are open for business in that part of the world.
Having also dealt with some serious politicians in that part of the world as well, the old issue that keeps coming up, and I will bring it up one more time, is corruption and difficulty of doing business, knowing, as a Western company, for instance, where your money is going, who the intermediaries are, who you're actually dealing with as well. Has that problem been solved? Or certainly been some good work been done on it?
So good work is being done all the time. What's important are stable and democratic transitions of government. Because when you have stable governments, you allow your judiciary to do positive work, and you allow for, you know, the police force and the law courts to kind of work. I mean, breaking the rule of law is common everywhere in the world. It was a historic problem in West Africa, but progress is in the right direction.
You are the leading rice shipper, and we've saw some numbers this week from Japan telling us that rice prices were elevated. And you do a deep dive on it, you can see that they've doubled in a year. How expensive is rice right now, which we know is a major soft commodity for emerging markets?
Well, rice is expensive. It is a drain on foreign currency reserves, effectively. So as populations grow, and there is a demographic explosion in West Africa, it does put pressure on your reserves. So what you actually have to do is move into the value-add process we were just talking about to actually generate wealth to be able to continue to import. So high prices are actually a catalyst for growth in the local markets and processing and value-add. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's how you react to it.
You made another great point, and we do appreciate your notes as well, as to talk about something that people have missed is the potential Trump action on Chinese shipping and in tariffs on that Chinese shipping. Tell us about this story. It's not something we've talked about at all.
This is huge in the shipping industry and actually quite worrying. So even just the talk of a potential tariff on Chinese vessels calling the US has already caused ruptures in the market. There is actually panic fixing going on this week. The Supramax index in Asia is up 5% daily for the last 5 days. So that's, you know, in the backdrop of Hapag-Lloyd talking about decreased earnings. In the last week, we've seen a spike. in some of the sectors onto just reacting to Trump. And
so I'm sorry, we've got how long? We've got 30 seconds.
Okay.
This could have an enormous cost impact on global commodities and ergo inflation.
Already people are charging premiums with Japanese vessels to call the US, and everyone's holding back on trade. And it's just causing huge volatility that creates panic on trading floors.